Hey, what's up everybody, it's Axel, and today we're going to be talking about the DITA Mecha. This is a single 10mm lithium magnesium dynamic driver IEM that has a titanium CNC machine titanium shell. It comes in at a price of $899, and let's start by talking about what comes in the box. This is the box of the DITA Mecha. It's definitely unique. I like the way it looks. It's definitely interesting. And then you get a carrying case, which is actually super protective. It's made in Germany, which is definitely unique. It's stackable. They call it Thanos Sustainer. So if you have the Project M or you have other DITA IEMs, you can stack them on top of each other. The outside is made out of heavy-duty modular ABS, and it has this patented lock system, which you can do like that. And then you open it, and the inside has this very protective material. Despite being very protective, this is actually very lightweight, but man, very hard, very nice. Another thing you do get, which is unique, is you get these final ear tips that are very interesting because they glow in the dark. I'm not joking. This is probably the coolest ear tips I've ever seen. And if you guys know where they are sold, please drop a comment and let me know, because this is awesome. I will post a picture. You know, they glow in the dark, which is awesome. Another thing is you get a pair of final wide bore ear tips to change the sound. And then you get modular terminations for the cable. You get 3.5, 4.4, and USB-C. They are right-angled for ease of use with dongles and DAPs, and the USB-C supports a lot of formats like high-res, 384 kHz, 32 bits, works with Tidal high-res, and it sounds fantastic. Great detail, no noise floor, no annoying pops when connecting and disconnecting, and it has low power consumption, which I absolutely love. Now, when it comes to the cable, this is the definition of literally a cable that has no memory, zero memory, and it's almost impossible to tangle. This is how the cable looks like. They call it the churro cable, and it's made out of these like high quality, like single crystal, high purity copper, silver plated, something like that. It has a quad design, which is something like the Star Quad XLR cables, which means the cable has high noise rejection. I absolutely like that, but let's talk about the practical aspects because these are more important to me. This is a cable that basically is almost impossible to tangle, and it has no memory. Like, you try to tangle this cable and twist it in different ways, it always comes undone in a very nice way. Zero microphonics, and the whole cable is actually very smooth, man. One of the most impressive feeling cables, you know, that I've ever tried. And this is the modular connector. You basically take this off and it just pops off like that. And the USB-C modular cable also supports DSD, which is actually pretty nice. Now, there are other, like, these are like what I call like extra accessories. You know, these are not things that usually you will use, but I like them. You get a sticker, you get this letters from DITA, and you get, of course, your warranty card, and you get this. This is actually really nice. This is a booklet that goes into detail about how they designed everything. You can see the titanium, the raw titanium. It's like a poster or a booklet, but it's actually pretty much very detailed when it goes inside, and it's a very big document, and you can see everything about the steps they use, the driver quality, why they tuned something like that, how they achieved every single detail. And that's actually very nice to see. They take pride in their work. They did a lot of interesting and unique stuff you don't see anywhere, and I like that. People put in a lot of work. They should be proud of the effort they put in. Now let's talk about the earpieces. This is one of the standout features. The whole thing is made out of CNC machine titanium. Let me tell you, if you're into metal builds, this is probably the most impressive metal build I've ever seen in my life. You know, CNC machine, the whole thing, and it's made of titanium, and despite having a lot of heft and durability, they're not heavy. I weighed them, and they weigh like 7 grams. Another thing I like here is they are not, you know, like able to be easily scratched. I mean, I don't want you to do that, but I scratch them a lot. I use them a lot, and not a single scratch anywhere. Like, this thing looks still new after using them for about a week. So there you go. Definitely nice. They go into their poster about how even every single curve has a meaning, and it's like enhances the structural durability and the fit ergonomics. Everything is actually very nice. They have 2 vents here, so wearing them in my ear, I had no pressure issues, no like drive reflex, nothing like that. It's actually very comfortable. Nozzle diameter is 6mm, which is small to medium, which is actually very comfortable average height. Inside my ear, I wore them for hours. Noise isolation is excellent, like really above average, and I wore them for hours and hours. I had no issues with them. But the most impressive aspect, of course, is is the build. Like these are built like a tank, let's say that. So we spent a lot of time talking about that. Let's talk about the sound. Let's look at the frequency response graph, and this is the most important aspect now. All these other things were nice, but the tuning and the sound quality is what's most important. And let me tell you, the Mecha delivers. It's a completely different tuning from the Project M. It's a new direction they want to take here. So let's look at the graph. You get slightly higher than neutral bass response. You get an emphasis on the upper mid-range. There is a strong upper mid-range boost. And then you get what I call like a natural-like type of treble presentation. So let's break it down. Let's talk about the bass. The bass here is, for me personally, the standout feature because of the quality. Basically, what you get is very deep bass. It sounds very deep. It sounds very full. It has excellent texture, and it sounds kind of elastic. It's still controlled as well, and it has this visceral, meaty type of presentation. Like it's not like the Project M. It's actually way better. And if you use bass heavy tracks and you raise the volume, you can actually feel the air moving, next to your eardrums. So this is a very satisfying feeling, even at lower volumes. It's very, very fun, but it's not at a level where it's, a very heavy bass boosted. It still doesn't sound overwhelming. It sounds clean. It sounds natural. It's just that slight bass boost that makes it fun. But the standout here is the detail, the slam, the texture. Everything here is actually excellent at this price point. Moving on to the mid-range, here is where things get a bit interesting here. This is an upper mid-range focus tuning, meaning the vocals and the instruments to my ear sounded very forward, kind of almost in your face forward, and some people will like that, and some people prefer something more relaxed. That said, the male vocals do have the natural thickness. There is excellent separation between the bass and the mids. Female vocals are clear and extended, and all the instruments I listen to actually sounded accurate and have the proper note weight. I'm talking about cellos, violins, pianos, saxophones. Everything has this natural sound to it, and it sounded lifelike. That said, at higher volumes, super high volumes, because I was looking at the graph, because it didn't match my ears, honestly, I was trying to raise the volume, see when is it going to get intense. At super high volumes, it does get a bit intense, but not shouty. Still like kind of very dominant sound to it. But to be honest, any other IEM, if I'm going to listen at this level, is going to get the same intensity. This is one of those cases where I'm looking at the graph and I want to say, if you're sensitive to the upper mid-range, try to listen first. But based on my ears, and I'm an upper mid-range treble sensitive guy, I'm telling you, like, it was very fine for me, not even slightly shouty. So take that as what you will. I have no explanation here. Like, some drivers are like that. I find some IEMs have slightly lower mid-range and they sound shouty. Some other IEMs have more mid-range. They sound very forward, but never shouty or uncomfortable even. That said, the upper mid-range here and the vocals and instruments are kind of in your face. So if you like your vocals to pop, this is the definition. I was listening to System of a Down, I was listening to death metal, a lot of stuff there, and it sounded absolutely fantastic. But the electric guitars were kind of next to my eardrums when I'm listening to them. Vocals are well separated from the music and kind of close to your ear, and the mids and the vocals kind of take front and center stage. So this is a preference thing. If you like vocals, if you like instruments to have that popping effect, and you like a vocal forward tuning, I think you'll absolutely love the Mecha. Let's talk about the treble. The treble here is well extended and detailed. I will describe it as kind of airy, but not overly airy. It sounds natural for the most part and completely non-fatiguing. Cymbals and hi-hats sound crisp but not harsh. I tested this with a lot of aggressive music and zero sibilance on any track after listening to them for over 200 or 300 tracks for over a week. So zero harshness, zero sibilance, just balanced, and just has a slight amount of sparkle, good air, natural detail. Hi-hats, cymbals, these things sound detailed. Now, when we talk about the technical performance, the Gizaudio Mecha ear actually is very impressive. I will describe the resolution here as exceptional. The level of detail retrieval you get here is actually pretty good. Like, both macro and micro details come across beautifully, and they are effortless. Separation and layering are top-notch. Imaging is actually very precise, and the soundstage is above average and expansive and immersive without being overly artificial or exaggerated. I talk about that because it does sound a bit above average when it comes to the stage, and the imaging is impressive. You always get these things with the treble, especially left and right separation going on with it. So it's actually very nice. If I bring up my technical scale, I will put this, let's say, 60% between the Pilgrim and the Anole VX, which is a very good place to be. That means it's very resolving. So let's start with some comparisons. First up, I will start with the Project M. I don't have the Project M with me. I will just say a few things about them. I listened to Project M for 15 minutes, and it sounds a lot brighter. brighter, a lot brighter. I didn't think I will enjoy it, but I enjoyed it a lot, although it's not my favorite type of tuning, the Project M. Just that brightness is not something I'm going on for, but the bass was impressive, the tuning was actually very fun, but the timbre was a bit affected as well, so it's kind of a different tuning, unique tuning for those who like it. I cannot deny I enjoyed it a lot with the time I listened to, although I didn't think I would. In terms of the Mecha takes a completely different approach here. It's something else completely, and the bass quality here is leagues ahead, and the overall level of detail is just on another level. Even the tuning approach is different, and you can see the Mecha here kind of emphasizes the upper mid-range and the vocals, and going for a tamer, more natural sounding, more controlled treble. So that's really nice. Another IEM I want to compare to is the Softears Twilight, which is my favorite single dynamic driver IEM. I will say like that, the Twilight is a lot warmer sounding. It's a bit more relaxed. It has fantastic timbre. Mid-bass is fuller. The mid-range is fuller. It's kind of thicker note weight as well. It's more for relaxing. Like, it's a really, really relaxed sound, like for chilling and, you know, enjoying your music, getting lost in it. And it sounds more open as well. It has this open vents to it, so not a lot of noise isolation here. The Mecha here comes across as a lot better when it comes to the bass quality, the texture, the overall detail in the bass. The overall level of detail is a lot higher on the Mecha, and this is something you notice immediately, like it's in another league, honestly. And the tuning is different, like the Mecha emphasizes the upper mid-range and the vocals. I will say the Twilight, it sounded a bit smoother. It's just kind of, you know, kind of something to chill and, you know, relax, enjoy. It's a bit warmer as well. Doesn't have the emphasis you have here on the vocals and mid-range. Let's compare it to the Sennheiser IE600, another single DT, which comes in at a much cheaper price, actually. It's not a fair comparison, but it's a single DT that I have, so why not? Basically, the i600 is a bit more V-shaped, and it does two things better or more, let's say that I noticed when comparing it to the Mecha. The i600 has a lot more of sub-bass. It rumbles more, and the imaging is slightly better. It's a bit more precise, maybe because of the treble, the way the treble is boosted, but it does stand out. The tuning is V-shaped as well, so it's a bit different. It's a bit more energetic, and the treble, to my ears, gets a bit intense with the i600. Here, though, everything else I'm talking about it in terms of the sound, the Mecha is in another league completely. Bass quality, oh my gosh, the Mecha is in another league. Texture, slam, impact, detail. Level of detail, the Mecha is again in another league, and I know it's not a fair comparison because of the price, but that said, the Mecha is way superior when it comes to the detail and separation, and the tuning of course is different. It emphasizes the upper mid-range more. Both of these are actually good, but kind of depends on what you're looking for. Last comparison I will do is for fun. This is the Cantor. I'm just doing this for fun because both of these come in at a similar price point, and they take different approaches, right? The Cantor is trying to go with 14 BAs. Both of them are non-hybrids. Cantor is going for 14 BAs to achieve their sound, and the Mecha is going with one dynamic driver to achieve the sound. So what do you get here? I will say first, the tuning is different between both of these, and they are for like different reasons. The Cantor is a bit more neutral. It's a bit more referencey type of tuning, monitor-like tuning. You don't get, you know, a boosted bass or anything like that, and it's a bit, you know, stronger when it comes to the detail and so forth. But although the texture of the bass is impressive and a lot of things are impressive on the Cantor, what makes the Mecha different? Why would anyone get the Mecha instead? I will say the Mecha has a different tuning. If you like the vocals to pop in your music, you want the forward mid-range tuning, I think the Mecha is attractive here. The build quality is different, and it's actually very impressive. These are reasons I would recommend the Mecha. And another thing is, as I said, although the bass is very impressive on the Cantor, there are some elements that you get with the Mecha, like the physicality and the slam that happens in the bass, the impact, you know, that satisfying, you know, rumble and vibration that you get on bass heavy tracks at high volume is a reason for anyone to get the Mecha. So build quality, tuning and stuff like that. Cantor, detail, separation and stuff like that, unmatched, honestly. Both are great for different reasons, and let's talk about who I recommend the DITA Mecha to. I would recommend the DITA Mecha if you like metal builds and you want one of the you know, most premium feeling metal builds you can find. Titanium shell, CNC machine. This is something you have to hold in your hand to kind of appreciate the quality here. Number two is people who are into single DDs. They like the cohesive sound signature. They like the qualities that you get of DD, no issues with timbre and so on. There you go, that's an option. People who are into very detailed and resolving IEMs. If you like a lot of detail in your music, the Mecha is really impressive when it comes to that regard. People who like vocal forward sound signature, people who like forward mid-range, and people who are bass connoisseurs, like people who like, you know, the quality of the bass, not just, you know, a lot of bass. They want the quality to be specific and excellent. I think you're going to absolutely love this here. Who I don't recommend the DITA Mecha to? Number one is bass heads. You know, the bass here is good, slightly above neutral, but nowhere near what a lot of bass lovers and people who like lots of bass in their music. This is not that level. Another thing, I don't recommend it if you are into warm sound signatures. This is not a warm sound signature. And number three, I don't recommend this if you are a person who likes a relaxed upper mid-range. For example, you will find some things like the meta-tuned IEMs are something that will fit you here better. So let's talk about the final rating. I will give the DITA Mecha a solid rating of 4 stars. This is a great sounding IEM. It impressed me personally. I absolutely loved it. Not just the build quality, the sound quality alone is actually very impressive, and it does have standout features that I think it will impress most people. This is a very nice IEM, and if you see it at CanJam or something, give it a try. I think you will be shocked. Like, yeah, single DD, but give it a listen. And that's it for today's review. Let me know what you think. If you have any question, leave it down in the comment section below. Like and subscribe if you have the content. And until then, guys, I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.